The signal from beyond. The holographic display flickered as Captain Krell adjusted his six-fingered hands over the control panel. His iridescent scales shimmered under the soft blue lighting of the bridge aboard the Gallian exploration vessel Starsong. Something unusual had appeared on the long-range sensors, an energy signature unlike anything cataloged in the unified Gallian database. "Run the scan again, Technician Voss," ordered Krell, his yellow eyes narrowing to slits, "and increase sensitivity by 20%. Voss, a slender Gallian with pale green scales, manipulated the controls with practiced precision. "Captain, scan confirmed. The signature remains anomalous. It matches no known propulsion system in use by any Concordat species." The bridge fell silent. For the past 3 centuries, the Gallian Concordat, an alliance of 17 spacefaring species, had mapped and catalogued every corner of the known galaxy. Unknown signatures simply didn't appear without explanation. "Could it be a natural phenomenon?" asked First Officer Thiele, her feathered crest rising with curiosity. "Negative," replied Voss. "The energy pattern displays clear artificial modulation. It's a vessel, without question." Krell's membrane gills fluttered, a sign of deep thought among his species. "Compare it to historical records." "All of them." Voss hesitated. "Sir, that would include pre-Concordat archives. Most are fragmentary at best." "Do it anyway," Krell ordered. Minutes passed as the ship's quantum processors analyzed billions of data points. The tension on the bridge grew palpable. Finally, Voss's console chimed. "Captain," Voss said, voice barely above a whisper, "there's a partial match. Approximately 87% correlation with theoretical human propulsion systems." A collective gasp rippled through the bridge. Humans, the mythical species that had supposedly vanished centuries ago. According to historical fragments, humans had once been a significant presence in the galaxy before disappearing entirely during what scholars call the Great Silence. "Impossible," stated Thiele firmly. "Humans are legends, cautionary tales told to fledglings. They self-destructed millennia ago." "Then explain the signature," Krell challenged, rising from his command chair. "Navigator, calculate an intercept course. Maintain distance of 1 light-minute initially." A communication officer turned from her station. "Captain, I've received transmission from command. They're ordering us to return to our patrol route. The anomaly has been classified as a sensor malfunction." Krell's scales darkened, a Gallian expression of frustration. "They dismissed our findings without investigation." "Yes, sir. Priority override. We're to return immediately for sensor recalibration." For the first time in his 20-cycle career, Captain Krell considered disobeying a direct order. If humans truly existed, it would rewrite Concordat history. The implications were staggering. "Acknowledge the order," Krell said slowly, "but inform command that due to unusual stellar activity, our navigation systems require recalibration before safe return. Estimated delay, 12 hours. First Officer Thiele's eyes widened. The fabrication was transparent, but no one on the bridge challenged it. "Now," Krell continued, "set intercept course, minimal power signature. If something's out there, I want to see it with my own eyes." The Starsong altered course, moving silently toward the mysterious signal. As they approached, detailed scans revealed an unmistakable artificial vessel, sleek, angular, and unlike any Concordat design. Its hull bore unfamiliar markings and what appeared to be weapons emplacements. "Size comparison," Krell asked tensely. "Approximately twice our length, 3 times our mass," reported Voss. "Power readings suggest significant capabilities." The bridge view screen displayed the vessel clearly now, a dark silhouette against the backdrop of stars. Its design conveyed both elegance and intimidation, with lines that suggested it had been built for both speed and combat. "They haven't reacted to our approach," noted Thiele. "Either their sensors are inferior to ours, or they've been watching us since we entered the system," finished Krell grimly. "Open a communication channel. All frequencies, universal translation matrix active." Before his communications officer could comply, the view screen flickered. The image of the unknown vessel was replaced by a face that matched ancient depictions of humanity with uncanny accuracy. The being had smooth skin without scales or fur, 2 forward-facing eyes, and a small mouth. Short, dark hair framed features that seemed simultaneously alien and familiar. Galleon Vessel Starsong. The being spoke in perfect Galleon language. This is Commander Ilara Chen of the Earth Naval Vessel Defiance. Your interest in our ship is noted. Perhaps it's time we had a conversation. Captain Krell struggled to maintain his composure. You speak our language. We've had time to learn, replied Chen with what appeared to be a smile, a human expression of either amusement or goodwill, according to ancient texts. Your Concordat broadcasts aren't particularly secure. The historical records claim your species vanished centuries ago, Krell said carefully. We didn't vanish, Captain. We retreated. Chen's expression grew serious. Necessity demanded we remove ourselves from galactic affairs. That time has passed. Thela stepped forward. Retreated. From what? From a threat your Concordat has yet to encounter, Chen replied. Captain Krell, I'm transmitting coordinates for a secure rendezvous. Bring no more than 3 officers. We have much to discuss. The transmission ended, leaving the bridge in stunned silence. Krell's decision was immediate. Set course for the rendezvous point. Thela, Voss, you'll accompany me. Sir, protested his security officer, this contradicts command's orders and all first contact protocols. Krell's scales shifted to a resolute blue. Sometimes, Officer Marin, history demands we make exceptions. Log my decision and my full acceptance of responsibility. Hours later, Krell, Thela, and Voss boarded a shuttle toward the designated coordinates, a small planetoid with breathable atmosphere, but no indigenous life forms. As they approached the surface, they spotted a smaller vessel already landed, presumably a shuttle from the Defiance. 3 figures stood waiting as the galleons disembarked. Commander Chen was immediately recognizable from the transmission. Flanking her were 2 other humans, one with darker skin and one with features suggesting advanced age, a concept alien to the biologically immortal galleons. Captain Krell greeted Chen, extending a hand, a human gesture of peaceful intent. Thank you for coming. Krell mimicked the gesture awkwardly. Commander Chen, you claimed humans retreated rather than vanished. I believe my government would be interested in the distinction. Chen nodded. Walk with me, Captain. As they moved away from the shuttles, Chen began her explanation. 300 years ago, humanity was expanding rapidly. We established colonies across what you now call the Outer Rim. Then we encountered something, a species unlike any we'd encountered before. Hostile? Asked Thela. Beyond hostile, replied the older human. They called themselves the Voidborn. They considered all other life forms resources to be harvested. Their technology was centuries beyond ours. We lost 38 colony worlds in the first year alone. Chen continued, her voice tight with ancient pain. Earth itself was attacked twice. Billions died. Krell's scales paled. How did you survive? We adapted, said Chen simply. Humanity has always excelled at adaptation. We developed new technologies, new tactics. Eventually, we drove the Voidborn back, but at terrible cost. Our remaining population retreated to a handful of star systems, hidden within a dense nebula. We decided to rebuild in secrecy, to prepare. Prepare for what? Asked Voss. Their return, said Chen, stopping to face the galleons directly. The Voidborn weren't destroyed, merely defeated temporarily. Our deep space monitoring network has detected their activities at the edge of the galaxy. They're regrouping, and they're coming back. Krell's membrane gills fluttered rapidly. Why reveal yourselves now, after centuries of hiding? Because they're no longer heading toward Earth space, replied Chen grimly. They're heading directly toward Concordat territory. And based on our calculations, you have less than 1 standard year before first contact. The coming storm. The central chamber of the Starsong had been hastily converted into a secure meeting room. Commander Chen and her 2 officers, Science Director Patel and Security Chief Rodriguez, sat across from Captain Krell and his senior staff. The tension in the air was palpable. "Your claims are extraordinary," stated Krell, his scales shifting between shades of skepticism and concern. "You expect us to believe that not only has humanity survived in secret for centuries, but that you've also detected an existential threat to the Concordat that our entire sensor network has missed." Commander Chen nodded to Science Director Patel, who activated a holographic projector. A 3-dimensional map of the galaxy materialized between them, with a pulsing red mass at the outer edge. "Your sensor network is designed to detect known propulsion signatures and communication patterns," explained Patel. "The Voidborn use neither. They travel through subspace folds that leave minimal traces in conventional space. We've spent centuries developing specialized detection methods specifically calibrated to their unique signatures." The hologram zoomed in, showing strange, asymmetrical vessels moving in unnatural patterns. 3 months ago, they altered course, continued Patel, tracing the projected path with her finger. "Previously, they were moving toward the Perseus arm. Now they're heading directly toward the Concordat core systems. At their current speed, first contact will occur within 10 months. First Officer Thiela's feathered crest flattened, a sign of deep concern. "If what you're saying is true, why approach us rather than the Concordat High Council directly?" Commander Chen smiled grimly. "We tried. 3 times in the past month, we've sent envoys to Concordat space. Each time, they were fired upon without communication. Your military classifies our ships as anomalous phenomena to be neutralized on sight." Krell's membrane gills fluttered with embarrassment. The Concordat's policy toward unidentified vessels had become increasingly aggressive in recent years, a response to isolated incidents of piracy along the trade routes. "So you approached an exploration vessel instead," Krell concluded. "Exploration crews tend to be more curious than suspicious," replied Chen, "a quality humanity values highly." The meeting continued for hours as the humans shared detailed information about the Voidborn, their biology, technology, tactics, and weaknesses. The more Krell learned, the more his skepticism gave way to dread. If even half of what the humans claimed was true, the Concordat was woefully unprepared for what was coming. "Your defensive capabilities are advanced," noted Security Chief Rodriguez, reviewing the Concordat military specifications the Galleons had shared, "but they're designed to counter conventional weapons. The Voidborn use quantum-phase weaponry that bypasses traditional shielding entirely." "Then what stopped them before?" asked Krell. "How did humanity drive them back?" A moment of silence passed before Chen answered. "Desperation breeds innovation, Captain. When facing extinction, we developed technologies we had previously considered too dangerous to pursue." Chen nodded to Patel, who produced a small, unassuming device no larger than her palm. "This prototype contains the schematics for a quantum resonance barrier, technology we developed in the final years of the war. It can neutralize Voidborn weapons, but its installation requires significant modifications to your existing systems." Krell studied the device. "And you're offering this to us freely?" "Not freely," corrected Chen. "In exchange for alliance. Humanity alone cannot stand against the Voidborn a second time. Neither can the Concordat. Together, we might have a chance. The Concordat High Council will never agree to an alliance with a mythical species based solely on my report," said Krell bluntly. "They'd sooner believe I'd lost my mind." "Then we'll need to provide irrefutable evidence," replied Chen. "Something the Council cannot dismiss." Before Krell could respond, the ship's alarm system activated. Voss rushed to a nearby console. "Captain, 3 Concordat warships have entered the system. They're demanding our immediate surrender and threatening to fire upon the human vessel. They're classifying this as an unauthorized first contact situation." Krell's scales darkened with anger. They tracked us despite communication blackout. Someone at command must have suspected. It doesn't matter now, interrupted Chen, already moving toward the exit. My ship can evade them, but you'll be court-martialed if we flee. And if I surrender, everything you've told me will be classified and buried, finished Krell. The Concordat will remain unprepared for the Voidborn. For a moment, the chamber fell silent as the weight of the decision pressed upon them. Then Krell's scales shifted to a resolute blue. There's a third option. Commander Chen, how quickly can your ship reach Concordat Prime? Chen's eyes widened as she understood Krell's intention. You want to address the High Council directly. With you beside me, confirmed Krell. No reports to dismiss, no evidence to classify. Face to face. The warships will fire upon us the moment we attempt to leave, warned Thela. Chen smiled, a genuine expression that conveyed both confidence and determination. Let us worry about that. Can your shuttle dock with our vessel? An hour later, as the Concordat warships closed in, the Starsong appeared to surrender. Its shields lowered, and all weapon systems powered down. The warships moved into position to board, unaware that Captain Krell and a small team had already transferred to the human vessel hidden on the planetoid's dark side. Initiating quantum fold, announced Rodriguez from the pilot's station as the Defiance rose from the surface. Hold tight, this might feel unusual. The sensation that followed defied description, as if every atom in Krell's body simultaneously existed in multiple locations before snapping back into place. The view screen showed open space where moments before there had been a planetoid. What just happened? Demanded Thela, her crest fully extended in alarm. Quantum displacement drive, explained Patel. We didn't so much move through space as exchange our position with an equivalent volume of empty space several light years away. Impossible, whispered Voss. The energy requirements alone would. As I said, interrupted Chen with a slight smile, desperation breeds innovation. For 3 days, the Defiance traveled toward Concordat Prime, utilizing technologies that challenged everything the Gallians thought they knew about physics. Krell spent hours with Commander Chen, learning about human history, culture, and their long struggle against the Voidborn. Your species is remarkably adaptable, observed Krell during one such conversation. The Gallians would have fragmented under such pressure, yet humans unified. It's our greatest strength, agreed Chen. Individually, we're fragile. Together, we're resilient beyond measure. It's why we need the Concordat now, not just to save your people, but because unified defense has always been humanity's way. When the Defiance finally reached Concordat Prime, they were met by an entire defense fleet, hundreds of warships forming a blockade around the capital world. They're ordering us to stand down or be destroyed, reported Rodriguez. No willingness to communicate. Krell stepped forward. Let me speak to them. Using the human vessel's communication system, Krell addressed the fleet admiral directly. This is Captain Krell of the exploration vessel Starsong. I request immediate audience with the High Council on a matter of galactic security. I vouch personally for the humans who have transported me here. Captain Krell has been declared rogue and is presumed under alien influence, replied the admiral coldly. Surrender immediately. Chen joined Krell at the communication station. Admiral, I am Commander Ilara Chen of Earth Naval Forces. We come with critical intelligence and technology to counter a threat moving toward Concordat space. If you fire upon us, you condemn your people to extinction. The Admiral hesitated visibly. Hold position. Stand by. Minutes stretched into an hour as the defense fleet maintained its blockade. Finally, the communication system activated again. This time, a different face appeared. Elder Sovan, head of the High Council itself. Captain Krell. The Elder began, his ancient scales dull with age. Your actions have caused considerable disruption. However, recent deep space telemetry has detected anomalies that lend some credence to your claims. The Council will hear you in these. humans. The landing at the council chamber created a sensation unlike anything in recent Concordat history. News of humanity's appearance spread despite official attempts to contain it. Crowds gathered outside the massive crystalline structure, straining to glimpse the mythical beings from legend. Inside, Krell and Chen presented their evidence methodically: historical records of the human Voidborn War, sensor data showing the approaching threat, and technical specifications for defensive preparations. Elder Sovan listened silently, his expression unreadable. "Even if what you say is true," he said finally, "adaptation of our entire defense network would take years. According to your data, we have months." "Not necessarily," interjected Science Director Pottle. "The quantum resonance technology can be integrated modularly. Start with your most crucial worlds, then expand outward. We've prepared implementation protocols specifically designed for Concordat systems." For 3 days, the debate raged within the council. Some members refused to believe humanity existed at all, despite the evidence standing before them. Others accepted the threat but rejected alliance with an unknown species. On the 4th day, as arguments reached their peak, the chamber's holographic display activated unexpectedly. The image showed deep space near the outer rim, where a Concordat research station had been monitoring stellar phenomena. In silence, the council watched as strange, asymmetrical vessels, identical to those in the human records, emerged from subspace. The research station attempted communication, then defense. Within minutes, it had been reduced to scattered particles. "That station housed 800 of our people," whispered Elder Sovan, his scales pale with shock. "The Voidborn scout vessels always precede the main fleet," said Chen quietly. "You have less time than we thought." The council chamber erupted in panic, but Elder Sovan raised a hand for silence, his ancient eyes fixed on Commander Chen. "It seems, Commander, that the mythical humans have returned just when the Concordat needs them most. Perhaps there is wisdom in legends after all." He turned to address the council. "I call for immediate vote on formal alliance with humanity and implementation of their defensive technologies." The vote was unanimous. In the months that followed, human and Concordat engineers worked tirelessly to prepare for the coming storm. The quantum resonance barriers proved effective against the initial Voidborn incursions, buying precious time for further preparations. Captain Krell, now promoted to serve as liaison between human and Concordat forces, stood beside Commander Chen on the observation deck of the Joint Command Station. Below them, hundreds of vessels from both civilizations trained in unified defense formations. "Do you think we can win?" asked Krell frankly. Chen's expression was solemn but determined. "I think together, we have a chance. And for humanity, a chance has always been enough." As the first wave of the Voidborn main fleet appeared on the long-range sensors, a new chapter in galactic history began, one where humans were no longer myths, but essential allies in the fight for survival itself.